What's up, you guys? I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be live with you guys tonight. It's been a minute. It's been a minute since I've been live here on YouTube. So yeah, I'm excited for this discussion tonight. We are talking about we got about 5 minutes. I jumped on early. Let me turn my light on. Didn't even have my light on. I jumped on early, so we still have about 5 minutes before we get started. So before we get started, if you're coming into the room, drop down in the chat and say hello. Let me know where you're from. And the discussion tonight is going to be the pros and cons. We're talking about signing service business versus direct business. Okay, so I had a conversation with fellow loan signing agent Erica. She's going to come on and weigh in on this conversation. And after we got off the phone, it got my mind thinking a lot because she gave some interesting perspectives that I want her to share with you all tonight. So as you come into the room, drop down in the comments, say hello. Let me know where you're at tonight. Okay. Charlotte, North Carolina. Okay. Shout out to North Carolina. Let me know where you guys are from. And you can go ahead and start drop down the comments too. I want to know. This has been a really good discussion. If you prefer loan signing service business, or do you prefer direct business, and why? I've been getting a lot of different mixed responses. So just really excited about the conversation tonight. So, what's up, Brooklyn? What's up, New York? Oh, we got another person from Charlotte. Okay, what's up, Virginia? Y'all know I got a little cocktail tonight, a little champagne. Cheers. Okay, Houston. My daughter's thinking about moving to Houston. Okay, LA. Yes, Cal State LA alumni here. Yes. Okay, Florida. I'll be in Florida in December. So yeah, I'm gonna let everybody come in as you come in. Also, when you come in, hit like and hit share on this because, like I said, this is gonna be a good discussion that other people are going to want to chime in on as well. So hit like and hit share when you come into the room. Let me get the housekeeping out of the way. My name is Dominica. I am the owner of D Signs Notary Loan Signing Service. We are here in Northern California, the great city of Sacramento. And thank you all for joining me this evening. We're going to be talking about the differences between loan signing service business, and direct business, kind of the pros and cons. And I'm going to bring someone on to chat with us about it. Because I really liked her perspective. So you guys also let me know when you come in, what do you prefer? Do you have a preference? Do you prefer signing service business? Do you prefer direct business, or both? And why? Also forgot to say, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, okay? Go ahead, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell to be notified so you know every time I upload another video, okay? Now that I got that out the way, someone said that they would like to do both. Okay, so I think you all know, or maybe you don't know, but I'm just going to get out the way and tell you guys, I prefer direct business, okay? That is my preference. And not only is my preference, but it's pretty much where my business is at now. Like pretty much all of the signings that I do are for my direct clients, okay? Some of you may or may not know, I also started a small signing service this year called the Notary Boss Network. Some of you all are a part of it. Shout out to the Notary Boss Network. And so I actually do still have relationships with signing services. And what I did was I now use those relationships with signing services like Signature Closers, for example, and they allow me to have what's called like an associate account, where basically I give all the notaries in my network those signings. That way I can focus on my direct clients. Okay, that's just my preference. But I will tell you guys the pros and cons to that. That's what we're going to talk about tonight, because although that is my preference, primarily because you make more money, they're local here. I have a lot of reasons why it's my preference, but honestly, the dollar amount really is my number one answer as to why. And also, it allowed me, like I said, to branch out and start my own signing service, right? So with only signing service business, you can't create so much a signing service or start contracting out if you're only dealing with signing service business. So anyways, we'll get into a lot of the pros and cons of that as well. Just give me a second. I think Erica is trying to come in on the line. Somebody said, I've only done signing service. Okay, let me see. What's up, Erica? Let me see. Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Can you hear
Okay, I
me
can hear you now. I can hear you now. Hey, girl,
Hello.
how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
So
How are you doing?
I was telling everyone after our conversation we had the other day, I was kind of inspired to have this conversation because you brought up some really good points about, signing service business versus direct business. And I just kind of wanted to have an open discussion about it because I really thought you brought some good points that we can kind of have a really good, well-rounded conversation on. So I'll let you go ahead and you can introduce yourself and your business and kind of how long you've been a signing agent and all that great stuff.
Okay, so my name's Erica Guadian, and I've been a loan signing agent since 2009. Prior to that, I did escrow and title, so I do have a little bit of escrow background. So when I started in the field, we didn't really have what we have now with all the technology. It was kind of old school where they would call you if you sign. They were signing services, but you kind of
Once upon a time, a snowing.
So yeah. So and I'm out in the Riverside County area in SoCal. So that's pretty much what I cover. Is Riverside County.
Okay, cool. So can you talk a little bit about what your business consists of? Are you doing mostly directs or are you doing mostly signing service?
So mainly is through signing services and title companies. I do have some direct clients, but they kind of know how I kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I would say 80% of my business is through signing services and title companies that already have schedules ahead. So,
And so I was pretty intrigued by the fact that you had such like a higher percentage of signing service business. Like I always assumed, I know we like kind of chat here and there, but I always kind of assumed that you had more direct business. So I was kind of surprised to hear that because the push is always direct business, direct business, direct business. I'm big on it myself, but a lot of times you assume, especially if somebody's been in the business a little bit longer, that maybe they're doing mostly direct business. So it was you brought us some interesting
points, like you said,
mm-hmm.
and I'm a mom, so I also have mommy duties. So signing services and title companies and other scheduling companies, it just worked better for me because there was days that I needed to know what my day was going to look like. Especially when you have children and you have school pickups, school drop-offs, after school activities. So it worked, it balanced out for me.
I thought that was a really good point that you made because I think it was that day we even had this conversation. I was like thinking, okay, I'm done with my day. I'm not taking any more signings. And like one of my number one direct clients called me and was like, oh, can you go do a signing at like 8, and just to share with you guys, when you get a direct client, you really do get put in positions where you feel like you can't tell them no. you
it's all about accommodation.
Right.
Be able to accommodate them.
Yes, you really have to be able to accommodate them versus if I got a text coming to my phone from a signing service asking me to do a signing at 8, I could just hit the decline button. You understand what I'm saying? I could just decline it. But when I have these direct clients who have my personal cell phone number, they're calling me directly or texting me directly. like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
you go do this signing at 8, you really can't say no, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to say you can't because nobody's forcing me or holding a gun to my head, but it is a relationship that I've built, you know, and they're pretty much dependent on you. They don't want to get put in a position where they have to call somebody else, because it's like, well, what was the point of you selling your service to
That's
me? Like, you know what I mean? When we
correct.
go out here and we market and we're selling our service, the expectation is when I call you, you gonna be
You're there.
available. You know what I'm saying?
You're
And
100%
so
correct on
yeah,
that.
it was honestly one of those nights where I wish it was just a text coming through my phone where I could have just declined it, you know, but it wasn't. And I went out and I did the signing. So yeah, I just thought that was a really good point that you made. You know, signing service business, you get the text and you could decline it if you want. Then you drop it off to the FedEx
Yeah,
and you go about
a
your
lot of
business, you know?
the the positive of that is they're local
Mhm.
um within a 10-15 mile radius, because it's kind of how I work. I do
Mhm.
within a 10-15 mile radius. I've had days where I start at 10, I hop to my 11, hop to my noon, and they're all within the same zip code, because you build your desk with signing services or title companies, and you're already building up your day for that week, that you already know your morning you're gonna be out in this area, so I'm going to take all that stuff for this area right here. So I'm
Mhm.
just hopping from neighborhood to neighborhood right now.
Mhm. And can you talk a little bit more? You mentioned how you've kind of like built up a rapport with one specific signing service, and I think you said you do most of your signings just for one signing service, or do you
So
just
I so you kind of you work with signing services, and then you eventually end up picking your top 5 signing companies that you also want to be known that you're going to accommodate them when they do send that last minute ASAP signing, that you can accommodate within the hour. And then you have your title companies. So once you just build up your notary desk, you're already you're kind of in it already. It does take some time, because you also have to build relationships even with signing companies. I feel like you still have to build relationship with the schedulers at the title company. um, so it takes time, but it could happen. So that's how I kind of did it. So if it's
Mhm.
not from one signing service, it's from my other signing service, it's from my other title company, and you're kind of a little bit everywhere.
Mhm.
So organization and having a good clear schedule to writing everything down, your notes for the upcoming week, it's a plus.
Mhm. Mhm. And so the one thing I talked about a little bit before you got on, and I guess I'll ask you this: do you ever think that you would want your own signing service?
I've always thought about that, but I just have a lot going on, and I'm okay for right now with that.
Mhm.
It's right now it's just me and my husband that does it. He does it more of a part time. I do it more of a full time. So when something comes up, even in my zip code, and I can accommodate, hey, I got my husband, he could do it, or my my partner, or and then the order can get transferred if they allow it. Sometimes they don't. They have their other preferred notaries they have to reach before they can transfer an order. But other than that, it's just both of us that we're managing it. But
Mhm.
maybe in the future, not right now. I'm pretty steady with what I'm doing, and I'm kind of happy with the kids and everything else. It would be a lot for me.
Hmm. Right, because I was saying that was one of the, for me, the pros, because I want to be able to primarily um, contract a lot of my signings out now to other notaries, and you can't really do that with signing services. I have
Mm-mm.
some, like I have signature closers. They allow you to build a team and like Inspire and Mortgage Connect, but they're not really signing services. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those are one of the things, if you ever get to that point where you are going to build a signing service, or if that's something you want to do, then you
Mm-hmm.
definitely have to have direct clients in order to do that, you know.
Correct.
I
Yes.
want to talk a little bit about the money aspect of it, because I know, girl, I be seeing you doing well. Okay, you're doing well. And so sometimes I think there's a perception that if you do mostly signing service business, like you're not going to really make as much money. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Um, well, to me, $100 is $100. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I, and I mean, it's okay for me because, like I said, I do within a 10-15 mile radius. So, at the end of the day, if you set your goal for, let's say, 5 transactions, you're still doing your goal for $500 days.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
you do your $500 days, you know, that you're going to tell yourself, you know, this Saturday, I'm going to work this Saturday. I'm going to make myself available to anybody that messages me. Now you're at 6 days at $500 a day. So now you're at your, you know, your goals for the week.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I just set goals for myself. So if I know that I'm going to, you know, take my day off or a 3-day weekend, I'm just going to take everything comes my way and try to do a full day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Mm-hmm. I think what you said is really important about setting goals, because if you have a set goal of how many signings you're going to do at what dollar amount, it's really easy to kind of forecast what your month is going to look like, what your week is going to look like, you know? So I think you could be very intentional about that and still make the money goals that, you know, you
Yeah.
set out to make. Someone says, oh, 100 keeps the lights on. Yeah, for sure. I made a kind of a goal. I don't know, it's been over a year ago, that I don't leave the house for anything less than $100. You know, it just doesn't make sense. But I think if you're at that dollar amount and higher, it's really easy to do a
And
strict.
you always negotiate with the signing service. It's always
Mm-hmm.
negotiable with them too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, sometimes they reach out to you and after you accept the order, they'll call you. Hey, I saw that you said you're available. Hey, do you have any flexibility
Mm-hmm.
with your fee? So sometimes they do. They'll agree to throw an extra $25 or $15 for the cost of everything that's gone up lately. You know, everybody noticed paper's gone up. So
Yeah. Yeah, and
owners.
I've had plenty of signing services who paid me well over $100. You know, I
Mhm.
think what you said earlier is vital. The relationship building is so important, whether it's with a signing service, a direct client, your real estate agents, whoever. When you start building that rapport and they know who you are by name, not just another loan signing agent, and they know that the value that you bring and the quality of work that you bring, it's really easy to pay you, you know, more, or be able to have wiggle room to negotiate. But it goes right back to that relationship building component, you know?
Yes, for sure. It applies, I think, across the board.
I agree. I agree. So let me see if anyone has any questions. If you do, drop them in the chat and I'll pop them up and we can answer your questions. But yeah, I just wanted to have this open dialogue because, like I said, after having a conversation with you, it just kind of, you know, got the wheels turned in my head. And a lot of people, you know, ask all the time, like, you know, signing service, direct business, you know, and I think my conclusion or kind of point is that there's pros and cons to both. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like a lot of times I think the narrative is that just signing service is the only way and the best way. And it's great. You know, it really is. I can't say that it's not, but there is pros and cons to everything, you
Correct.
know, pros and cons to everything. And like I said, the example I had at the start of this was, you know, on Friday night at 8 o'clock, I'm getting a call on my personal cell phone to somebody I know at this point, because we've been building a relationship for 2 years now. So it's hard to, you can't just brush somebody off like that, you know, like, you know what I mean? Versus like a stranger on a text, you could just be like, nope, you know. But when it's somebody
Hmm.
you know calling you, like,
Yeah.
hey, can you please go do this for me? Even though you probably don't want to, you know, I'm just like
Hmm.
at 8 o'clock, I'm ready to, like, you know, kick my shoes off. But You
And
know,
then you'll just see that your time's more valuable. Like that's how I
yeah.
see it. I started with direct all the time. I was in an escrow office first thing in the morning, kind of to tell me, hey, I'm going to get some docs in a couple hours, hang around the office.
Mm-hmm.
So and then I realized I need the time. So if
Mm-hmm.
I could get my work done in the morning, rest of the day is off, I'm good with that too.
Let me ask you a question. Do you ever feel that direct clients or title companies, do you ever feel that they're inconsiderate?
Um, Not that they're inconsiderate. Um, I just when it comes to escrow, it's always a rush. Everything's a rush.
Mm-hmm.
So they got docs that morning, and you need to go sign them out to a different county. They want them back within the hour.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes they don't think of the time it takes to drive there, the time it takes to drive back. So that's where the conflict was with me, where it was go go go, and I mean I can't be there within the hour. The traffic out here is not normal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more where I some one time I kind of drew the line where it was like, well, where's the wife? Well, the wife's at work in this city. Well, now I have to drive to that city. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, it would have been nice if you told me ahead of time. So stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that, that
Mm-hmm.
I recall one incident that I was kind of, the stress came with the time management, because that's where our stress will come, is from your time management.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where, I mean, it's like it's just part of the business, you know. Unfortunately,
Hmm.
you know, I have these conversations with myself, and it's like, you know, especially when you're out there marketing and you're asking for the business, and so
Correct.
you have to be honest with yourself, like that's what you're asking for, that's what you're signing up for. So when it starts coming like that, and the pressure
Hmm.
is high, and the expectations are super high, it's like, but this is what
Hmm.
I've been asking for, you know. So you kind of, I say that all to say you have to be ready for it.
Yes,
You
you do.
have to know what you're getting into, because I think a lot of people that I have conversations with that are going after the direct business and want the direct business, they want the money. They're looking at the dollar sign. They're looking at the, you know, the dollar amount that they could make on the signing, but you have to be clear about what comes with that. And you have to be ready and available for it, because now also that I'm on the other side and I have a small signing service, I see that, you know, people sign up, but sometimes they're not really ready for what the expectation is. And I think that they don't even know sometimes that this high pressure, sometimes last minute, you know, expectations are what this business kind of consists of. You know, time is of the essence. And like you said, a lot of times things are very rushed and last minute. And the expectation is that you just be available for it, you know? Let's see. Someone asked a question. Let's see. Emily says, "What will you say when leaving a business card at the front desk of an escrow office?" Well, I'll tell you my take on it, and I'll see if Erica has anything to add. But I don't ever think you should just go in and leave a business card at the front desk. Um, because they're not really going to pay attention to it. Like we just mentioned earlier, the the environment is so fast paced that they might take it and it's just going to get shoved in a drawer with everything else. Hi, this is TJ, you guys. Sorry. Yes. So my iPad day. Mhm. Okay, I'll help you in a second. Okay. And so what I do, I will leave my business cards, but I always make sure that I get their business card as well, because I know I'm going to follow up. They 9 times out of 10 are not going to be the ones to reach out to me, but I'm going to make sure that I get their business card so I can reach out to them. So when you go in and introduce yourself and give your little spill or whatever you're going to do, don't just leave the business card and leave. I would not suggest that, because you probably are not going to hear from them again. I would make sure to get their business card and then make sure to follow up with them kind of on a consistent basis, not on like a bugaboo basis. You know, don't, you know, be annoying, but for me, I follow up like weekly, bi-weekly, and then sometimes I go even further out than that, just depending on the feedback I get. But I would never suggest just like leaving a card. Do you have anything to add to that, Erica?
No, I think we covered everything at the time. But thank you so much for having me.
Accidentally muted myself. Does anybody else have any questions? I don't think so. Did you have, oh, Erica, I was asking, did you have anything to add to her question about leaving? Someone asked about leaving a business card at the front desk of an escrow office. Do you recommend that?
No,
That I kind of don't.
no, you don't want to, you don't want to leave it at the front desk. Um, Probably charm a little bit to see if they give you is there any possible way I can like speak to an escrow officer? I would just like to introduce myself. It's just going to take a minute because I know sometimes it's hard to get through, and you'll have your luck and they'll like, yeah, let me bring you back on. And or another good thing is probably a title rep. That's how I kind of got into some of the title companies. I would reach out to the title rep, and through the title rep I was able to go in the back and get introduced. So maybe
Yeah,
somebody affiliated with the company that can get you in an executive, because even escrow companies will have a rep, and maybe reaching out to the rep, that would help too.
I lean into the receptionist a lot too, because a lot of times the receptionist is the escrow assistant, and the escrow assistants do a lot of the scheduling with the notaries as well. So I kind of don't always kind of ask for an escrow officer. I like to kind of build up to the person at the front desk, because my experience anyway has been, now that I've kind of expanded my relationships with a few of these companies, that the person I first met at the front desk, they're actually the assistant that does a lot of the scheduling,
That's true.
So,
That's very true.
I always tell people, don't sleep on that.
If you can try to bypass the reception and go in the back, that would be great. Or even month in, take some goodies and market your stuff on the goodies to see if they'll you leave your business cards or bins or whatever. Right now, what I'm doing candles. So I'm dropping off some of my stuff and a couple candles, with my logo that I just did. So I order some candles and see how my candles work, because I'm a big candle person. So
Okay.
yeah.
That's cool. Okay, so I don't think anybody else has any questions. I don't want to keep you guys super long. So if anybody doesn't have any questions, I guess we can wrap up. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, it's just a kind of conversation that we had that I thought, sparked something that I wanted to kind of share with you all openly, and just kind of keep the wheels turning and let you guys know that there really is pros and cons to both. So I'm a big advocate on diversifying, keeping all types of business, direct, signing service. Like, the more business that you keep, I talked about this a little bit, I think last week on Instagram, you'll never be slow, because I've had experiences where one office is slower one month than another. You know what I mean? So if my focus was only that one office, my entire business, is going to be more volatile. It's dependent on that one office. So you want to diversify and have as much business as possible, I think, across the board. So just keep that in mind, that there's pros and cons of both. Don't feel like you have to just go after one. And nobody has anything else, you guys have a good night. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and anybody that missed this, hopefully you're watching it on the playback. All right, so I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Erica.
Bye-bye.